Conqueror's Haki is a rare form of Haki that cannot be attained through training. Only one in several million people have this ability. This type of Haki grants the user the ability to dominate the wills of others. The most common usage of it shown in the series so far is using it to exert the user's willpower onto those with weak wills and rendering them unconscious. Conqueror's Haki is considered an extremely dangerous threat and a highly valuable asset by powerful groups such as the Marine Admirals and the Four Emperors. It is said that whoever possesses this type of Haki has the qualities of a king. Here are the 10 most epic Conqueror's Haki moments so far. Shanks vs. Sea King in Chapter 1. As Higuma was preparing to kill Luffy, Shanks, having returned, appeared nearby and teased Luffy about his claim of having a punch as powerful as a pistol. Higuma warned Shanks to stay back, and when Shanks began to approach him, one of the bandits put a gun to his head. After Lucky Roo and Ben Beckman defeated the rest of the bandits, Higuma to throw a smoke bomb and escape. After saving Luffy from a Sea King, Shanks frightened it off with a single angry glare using his Conqueror's Haki. This was the first time we saw Conqueror's Haki. Luffy vs. Don Chinjiao Chapter 716. After Boo was brutally defeated by the thrown weapons accidentally hit Chinjiao. Angered, Chinjiao knocked Jin out of the ring with a headbutt. Before clashing with Luffy, he eliminated Idio while Luffy defeated Sai. As the two remaining fighters in the battle royale, Chinjiao and Luffy clashed their fists against each other, releasing a large wave of Conqueror's Haki to burst throughout the arena. Rayleigh at the Human Auction House Chapter 503. Rayleigh let himself be captured to be sold as a slave, and when the mermaid Kami was brought into the human auctioning house, Rayleigh discreetly used Conqueror's Haki to knock out Disco. As an auction took place, Rayleigh broke out of his cell and stole the money that people had bid for their slaves before making his way to the auction stage. There, he saw Hatchin and ascertained that he and his allies, the Straw Hat Pirates, had attacked a world noble to save Kami. After knowing these conditions, Rayleigh applies Conqueror's Haki at the human auction house following Luffy punched a celestial dragon. Shanks meet Whitebeard Chapter 434. On Whitebeard's ship, Whitebeard is informed of Shanks' arrival. At Navy headquarters, Marine soldiers are on standby after hearing the news of the meeting. Shanks boards Whitebeard's ship as Marco orders the newcomers to go inside the ship. However, the message comes too late. Members of the Whitebeard pirates faint when Shanks walks past them using his Conqueror's Haki. Shanks apologizes, since it's hard to stay calm on an enemy ship. Whitebeard orders his men to leave. When the crew is out of sight, Shanks prepared drinks of alcohol for the two captains. Big Mom at Tea Party Chapter 865. Big Mom was devastated by the destruction of her cake and removed the lifespans of a few of her cooks as she demanded they make a new one. She attempted to find and attack the real Luffy, but Katakuri intercepted him first. Big Mom then noticed that Brook had destroyed the portrait of Carmel, and she became dazed as her mind was conflicted over losing both the cake and the portrait. However, when Luffy directly showed her the pieces of the portrait, she lost her mind and unleashed a deafening scream along with Conqueror's Haki as she mourned the disappearance of Carmel. Luffy vs. 50,000 Bodies of Hode's Soldiers Chapter 634. Luffy goes to Goncourt Plaza while hiding inside Megalo. He jumps out of Megalo's mouth at the moment when Hode is about to kill Neptune and attacks the coup leader, sending him flying back. The island residents ask Luffy if he's a friend or foe, to which he responds that it's their call to make. The rest of the crew then gather at the plaza, and are prepared to engage Hode's crew in combat alongside Jinbei. Upon hearing that Hode ultimately plans to become the Pirate King, Luffy becomes enraged. When Hode orders his subordinates to attack the Straw Hats, Luffy unleashes a burst of Conqueror's Haki and knocks out half of them in an instant. He then tells Hode that no matter what kind of king he plans to become, there can only be one Pirate King. Luffy vs. Katakuri Chapter 893. Knowing that Luffy's Kenbunshoku Haki was improving, Katakuri tried to end the battle quickly and used his Mochi Tsuki to deal a devastating blow to Luffy. Unbeknownst to Katakuri, Luffy's focus was broken after he was shot in the leg by Charlotte Flamp, and the Sweet Commander took advantage of this as he pummeled Luffy. Suspicious of Luffy's sudden loss of focus, Katakuri heard Flampé's laughing and realized what had happened. He approached her, and while Flamp was flying towards him in joy, Katakuri stabbed himself with Mogora in the same place he stabbed Luffy. He then removed his scarf and loudly berated her for interfering in his fight. Distraught, Flamp began mocking his mouth and told her subordinates to photograph him, but Katakuri paid little mind to them as he returned to face Luffy. The two unleashed a wave of Conqueror's Haki, knocking out Flamp and her subordinates. Luffy vs. Doflamingo Chapter 782. As Doflamingo lied injured at Law's feet, Trebol attempted to attack Law only to be kicked away by Luffy. Law used counter shock on Doflamingo and collapsed from exhaustion. However, Doflamingo stood back up, revealing that he can use his string powers to fix his internal injuries. Doflamingo attempted to stomp on Law's head, but Luffy quickly intervened. That's when we saw the Conqueror's Haki clash between Luffy and Doflamingo. Luffy saves Marguerite's group Chapter 519. Luffy was put into an arena, and Hancock refused to believe his account of how he got to Amazon Lily. Marguerite, Sweet Pea, and Aphalandra then pleaded on Luffy's behalf, but Hancock turned them to stone. Luffy was enraged with the spectators for laughing at Hancock's actions toward Marguerite's group, being unaffected by Hancock's charms. Hancock then sent Sandersonia and Marigold to the ring to kill Luffy, and they used their devil fruit powers to transform into snakes. Luffy struggled against the two sisters as they dodged his attacks with Kenbunshoku Haki and hurt him with Busashoku Haki, and they decided to punish him further by destroying the statues of Marguerite's group. Luffy desperately yelled at them to stop, but they don't care, and then Luffy uses Conqueror's Haki subconsciously next to the Boa sisters to protect Marguerite's group. Luffy Conqueror's Haki Marineford Chapter 569. When Ace is about to be executed, Whitebeard tries to intervene, but he is stopped because of the wounds he received. Much to the shock of the commanders and Jinbei, Luffy uses his Conqueror's Haki unconsciously, preventing Ace from being executed because the executioners fainted. Many of the Marines also faint, and even a few of the Whitebeard pirates. Ivankov then asks Luffy how he gained that power, to which Luffy says he does not know. Rakuyo comments it's the Conqueror Haki. Aokiji is surprised and sweating a bit, and Kizaru said he was surprised in a sarcastic way.